On the morning of June 29, 2009, journalists from all over the world gathered inside the federal court in New York to hear the verdict that will be pronounced against Bernard Madoff, known as the King of Wall Street and the genius in financial investment who shocked everyone and executed the largest financial fraud in history, embezzling more than $65 billion, approximately 60 billion euros. He took it from his victims' pockets cleverly and without violence to become the greatest swindler of all time. But the pressing question is, how did this man, whom everyone considered a financial genius, descend to this level? How was he able, for 40 years, to deceive thousands of major investors and banks and manipulate all financial regulatory bodies around the world? The events of our thrilling story begin in the year 2008, the year the world was shaken by the great stock market crash. During that period, Bernard Madoff was regarded as one of the pillars of finance on Wall Street, the beating heart of the New York Stock Exchange, the strongest and most dangerous financial center in the world amid these difficult economic conditions. Madoff's star shone among everyone by offering secure investment deals in exchange for unprecedentedly attractive, large annual profits. Through these legendary offers presented by Bernard, he caused his competitors to fall one after the other until he dominated the scene powerfully and crushed everyone mercilessly. Depositing your money with Madoff was not just an ordinary investment, it was like signing a direct contract with wealth and a promise of achieving enormous financial gains that seemed guaranteed. As for his clients, they came from all walks of life. Ordinary individuals, charitable organizations, and many banks, even wealth managers like the Frenchman Thierry de la Ville-Huchet. Among his clients, we also find some celebrities like Steven Spielberg and John Malkovich. All these people placed their trust in him without hesitation. Blind trust. And it did not occur to them that most of the money they handed over to him might be lost, and they would never be able to recover it. Before I explain to you how Bernard Madoff stole billions, first I must tell you where he came from and understand his beginnings and professional ambitions until he earned the title of King of Wall Street. He was born in 1938 in the United States in a neighborhood in New York called Queens to a wealthy Jewish family, with a father named Ralph Madoff, who worked as a stockbroker, and a mother named Sylvia Munter. Bernard Madoff received his education at a prestigious school, obtaining his baccalaureate from Rockaway High School in 1956, then earned a master's degree in political science in 1960. He grew up in a family working in finance, as his parents Ralph and Sylvia had founded a company called Gibraltar Securities. The idea seemed beautiful on the surface, but the reality was completely different. Their activities were always on the edge of the law, with unpaid bills, endless tax adjustments, and suspicions surrounding shell companies. Over time, their business became so mired in fraud that it caught the attention of regulatory authorities in the early 1960s. Afterwards, the regulatory bodies moved towards the couple and opened an investigation with them. Fortunately, they managed to escape miraculously, as the mother quickly dissolved the company at the last moment in an emergency, allowing them to evade punishment. At that time, Bernard Madoff was 20 years old, witnessing the downfall and setback of his parents, but this did not prevent him from following their path. Instead, he decided to take the same route with an amount not exceeding $5,000 in his pocket. He founded his own investment company and began trading in unlisted stocks. He was a smart young man with a unique talent that quickly earned him a good reputation on Wall Street as a successful market maker. And a market maker is simply the intermediary who buys and sells stocks on behalf of companies. And this activity is legally legitimate. But Madoff knew that this work would not make him a millionaire. To earn more money and achieve the wealth he dreams of, he must break into the world's financial stronghold, the New York Stock Exchange. To achieve this goal, Madoff devised a brilliant plan. First, he relied on his good reputation and succeeded in recruiting about 20 clients, promising them profitable and enticing investments in the stock market. The dangerous part is that he did not conduct these operations through his official company, but secretly. Even his clients did not know that. They were certain they were investing their money in high-risk stocks, hoping for large and quick profits. But they were unaware that the reality was harsher than they imagined, because a slight market shake could make them lose all their money in the blink of an eye. Indeed, just a few days after he began his investment, what everyone feared happened. A small crisis erupted in the stock market, and Madoff lost all the money he invested, about $30,000. Despite the harshness of the loss, Madoff decided to cover it up because if people found out, his career on Wall Street would be over forever. But the ambitious young man did not give up. Instead, he cleverly turned the tables using his sleight-of-hand skills. He approached his accountant friend and asked for a secret loan. His friend agreed and handed him the money. Thanks to this financial support, he was able to return the funds to his clients in full, getting out of the predicament as if nothing had happened. In this way, Madoff appeared to his clients and other customers as the smart man who survived the stock market crash with his brilliant skills. Thus, his image began to form as a brilliant strategic expert in the stock market. In the early 1970s, his name became so prominent that he was asked to contribute to the founding of Nasdaq, the first 100% electronic stock exchange, which quickly attracted many technology companies. Through it, the Nasdaq index recorded an unprecedented huge success, and Madoff's brilliance did not stop there. Between 1990 and 1993, he took over the presidency of Nasdaq itself, solidifying his status as a legend in the financial world. But what was firmly established in everyone's minds was that Bernard Madoff was an even more exceptional legend due to the stock market crash of 1987. One of the worst crashes in modern history, known as Black Monday on the 19th of October, when panic swept through the New York Stock Exchange, causing the indices to fall by more than 22% in a single day. A catastrophic scene the world had not seen since the crisis of 1929. To limit the collapse, all traders in the market stopped buying stocks. Everyone stopped, except for one man, Bernard Madoff. Despite the ongoing panic in the market, Madoff continued purchasing securities, defying all difficulties as if it were normal. Nothing happened. A risky move. But it made the market more resilient and helped calm the wave of panic. The result was astonishing. Instead of the crisis destroying his company, it made him appear as the most stable and reliable financier on Wall Street. Since then, he was dubbed the King of the New York Stock Exchange. After that, he used his position to revive his secret activity as an investment advisor. His clients give him their money, and he promises guaranteed profits. Nevertheless, he did not forget his failure in the year 1962, but learned a harsh lesson from it. This time he decided to go further than before, offering his clients investments that are 100% safe with incredible returns of up to 15% annually. If you ask any financial expert about these profits, they will tell you that it is impossible to achieve, as annual interest rates rarely exceed 4 or 5%. But the clients never doubted and did not ask any questions because they were dealing with Bernard Madoff, the genius of Wall Street. Their money was in safe hands. However, the hidden truth from the clients is that Bernard did not invest their money in the stock market as they thought. Instead, he was putting those millions into his personal account. Thus began the largest fraud in history. And everyone might wonder how he can pay the 15% annual returns he promised to clients. The answer lies in an old fraudulent scheme known as a Ponzi scheme. The idea is very simple. The capital brought in by new clients is used to pay fake profits to the old investors. For example, when a client deposits 10,000 euros with Madoff, expecting an annual interest of 15%, these profits do not come from a real investment, but from the money obtained from new clients. Bernard Madoff did not invent this scheme. It was made famous by an Italian swindler named Charles Ponzi, from whom the name Ponzi scheme originated. However, the problem is that this system is inherently fragile and always ends in catastrophic collapse in two cases. First, when the number of people demanding to withdraw their money exceeds the scammer's ability to pay. Second, when the influx of new investors slows down and the funds are no longer sufficient to cover the rewards for the old clients. Therefore, Madoff had to continuously attract new clients to ensure the survival of this scheme. To gain more trust from his victims, he resorted to a cunning tactic, making them believe they were carefully selected and that entry into his exclusive investment club was not available to everyone. He deliberately rejected many requests from all over the world, which increased the desire of the wealthy to join him, believing their money was in the hands of a rare genius. Opening an account with Bernard was not easy. It required showing your credentials and committing to complete secrecy. It was also required that every new client not mention Madoff's name in transactions. These conditions were part of his charm to attract clients, in addition to his good reputation and gentle manner in dealing with people. He also cared about his personal appearance, always wearing elegant clothes and ensuring he smelled pleasant. Bernard was smart in dealing with his clients. He never forgets on every occasion to send them a small envelope congratulating them on a birthday or a wedding, and when an employee dies in an accident, he opens an account to provide education for their children. In addition, he was publicly generous, making large donations to charities, all to improve his image in front of people and authorities and leave a warm impression on them. But behind the scenes, he had a precise and tight system. He had a secret office located on the upper floor beneath his company's official offices. He formed a two-person team to produce fake documents and records. They create fake activity logs, forged invoices, and reports designed to convince any skeptic. No one was aware of this dark side. Neither his company employees nor his family members, including his brother Peter, his wife, and his sons Mark and Andy. In the early 21st century, rumors began to spread about his mysterious wealth. One day, the Securities and Exchange Commission received a shocking and fierce report submitted by financial analyst Harry Markopoulos, supported by strong evidence clearly indicating that Madoff was running a Ponzi scheme worth billions of dollars. The report was convincing and harsh, but the strange thing is that it was not enough to open an immediate investigation because Madoff had many friends within the commission. He had previously provided its members with important services in the past, such as helping them pursue fraudsters who were active in the markets before, which gave Bernard a wide margin of safety. Despite the availability of evidence and growing concerns, everything was left without serious follow-up, and Madoff continued his activities as if everything was normal. Then Harry became angry that his warnings were not taken seriously, so he turned to the media, which forced the authorities to take action and conduct some examinations. As for Madoff, he had nothing to worry about, as the investigation did not go beyond a simple phone call in which he was asked if he had a secret investment fund. His answer was, of course, no. Nevertheless, articles were published in newspapers alerting many clients and urging them to verify the dates of their investment portfolios. But Bernard was ready to face that, so with the help of two of his secret employees, they created a fake digital site containing fictitious transactions to justify the movement of money. They also created fabricated balances to hide the deficit, even fake account books. To make them look authentic, he resorted to a strange trick, kneading the papers and then placing them in the refrigerator to give them an old appearance. With these measures, Madoff once again escaped punishment. At the beginning of the first decade of the 21st century, He had a personal fortune estimated at more than $1,023 million. He also owns many luxury properties in New York, Miami, and several other cities in the United States, in addition to a stunning villa in the city of Antibes on the French Riviera. He also owns $10 million worth of furniture and artwork, a yacht valued at $7 million, and $3 million in jewelry and other valuable items. The situation remained as it was until the year 2008, when the markets were hit by an unprecedented crisis, the subprime mortgage crisis that would hasten the fall of the King of Wall Street. Its spark began in 2007 when low-income American families found themselves unable to repay their mortgage debts granted to them to purchase their homes, as interest rates rose significantly, leading to a wave of payment delays and a drop in property prices. Banks began facing significant difficulties in finding liquidity. By the year 2008, the New York Stock Exchange experienced a sharp decline, leading to a global financial collapse. A state of panic prevailed among savers who rushed to financial institutions, eager to retrieve their money invested in the stock market. Among these investors were thousands of Bernard Madoff's clients, who hurried to withdraw their investments. But the bitter truth is that Bernard did not invest anything in the stock market at all. In December 2008, he faced significant pressure and was asked to pay $7 billion. But he was unable to do so because his bank balance did not exceed $900 million. The Ponzi scheme that Madoff built over many years collapsed in just a few days. On the 11th of December 2008, due to the immense pressure he was under, Madoff gathered his family and decided to tell them everything. The next day, his sons informed the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and Bernard was arrested and immediately placed in prison. After the news of his arrest spread, thousands of investors found themselves facing a devastating reality. Among the biggest victims was the French billionaire Thierry de la Villeuche, who was defrauded by Madoff for an amount of $1,400 million. He not only lost his personal fortune, but also the millions entrusted to him by his clients. Among the victims, we also find Liliane Bettencourt, the richest woman in the world, who was driven to a tragic end by debts and scandals. The total losses were estimated at about $65 billion. His list of victims included the largest global banks, financial institutions, and charitable funds. For example, in the United States, among his victims was the asset management company Bear Stearns, which invested approximately $1,400 million. As for the American hedge fund, it lost a huge amount of $7,500 million. As for the company Drome Group Holdings, it invested $3,300 million. The Royal Ascot Company's fund also incurred losses amounting to $1,800 million. Among these frauds that occurred in Spain, Banco Santander invested an amount estimated at €2,333 million, and Bancomer lost about €300 million. As for the private Austrian bank, it invested nearly $2,100 million. In the United Kingdom, HSBC Bank incurred losses amounting to $1 billion. As for the Bank of Scotland, it lost an amount estimated at £400 million. In Switzerland, the Union of Private Banks, UBP, lost an amount of $1 billion, while Swiss Life Bank lost about 90 million Swiss francs. In Luxembourg, the AM Group company incurred losses estimated at $230 million. In Italy, UniCredit Bank lost an amount estimated at €75 million. Additionally, there were many banks and financial institutions that invested their money with Madoff in complete secrecy. People not only lost their money, but some lost their lives tragically, like the French billionaire Thierry de la Villeuche. who lost his money and his friend's money and could not bear what happened, so he was found dead by suicide in his office on the morning of Tuesday, the 23rd of December, 2008. As for the Madoff family, they experienced a real collapse and quickly descended into the hell created by their father. Mark, the eldest son, could not bear the shame his father brought upon the family. On the 11th of December 2010, he committed suicide by hanging in his apartment after some friends accused him of colluding with his father to steal people's money. On the 3rd of September 2014, Andrew Madoff, the younger son of Bernard, died of brain cancer due to psychological pressures he could not bear. When Bernard Madoff appeared in court, he was sentenced to 150 years in prison in the state of North Carolina. He spent the rest of his life and passed away on the 14th of April 2021 at the age of 82 while serving his sentence.
And you, dear viewer, share your opinion with us in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to our channel to receive all the latest updates.